respected chairperson, my seniors and juniors. Very good evening to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Alka Mukherjee, President of NOGS, Dr. Ashish, Dr. Pragati and entire organizing team for giving me this opportunity. Today, my talk is on maternal death surveillance and response, a window of opportunity to prevent preventable maternal deaths with timely intervention. Maternal and reproductive health caught the global eye in 1980s with the launch of Safe Motherhood Initiative Nairobi in 1987. Since then, several national and international initiatives have been adopted to reduce the unacceptable maternal death, especially in low-resource settings. Maternal death globally was reported 5 lakhs in the year 1990, and out of these, 99% were in developing countries. So maternal death reduced to 2,89,000 in the year 2013, that is almost after 2 decades, and the decline was 45% from the level of 1990. Various strategies have been adopted worldwide in congruence with the 5th Millennium Development Goal, which was aimed to reduce maternal mortality ratio by 75% between 19 to 2015. However, our few states of India achieved this goal, but our overall India could not achieve this goal. So now we have a sustainable development goal. Target is to reduce the MMR less than 70 per 100,000 live birth by 2030 in the world and in India. And Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Gujarat have already achieved this target. So let us define, WHO defined in 1999 defined maternal mortality as the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of the termination of pregnancy, irrespective of the duration and the site of the pregnancy, from any cause related to or aggravated by the pregnancy or its management, but not from the accidental or incidental causes. The maternal mortality ratio is the ratio of the number of maternal deaths during a given time period per 100,000 live births during the same time period. So this is a chart which shows that the maternal death occurs in 27% within average, hypertension disorder 14%, sepsis 11%, abortion 8%, and other direct causes are 13%. I am not going to go into detail of the intervention. As our late Prime Minister, as Jawaharlal Nehru has said, you can tell the condition of a nation by looking at the status of this woman, and it is very, very true. So, MMR is not only an indicator of maternal and infant health, but also an insight into a particular country's economic, socio-economical status and quality of healthcare system. In 1990, the global MMR was 400 per 100,000 live births. In India, the MMR was 600, contributing to the 27% of the maternal death of the world. In 2010, the global MMR dropped to 210 per 100, but India, it reduced to 178 per 100 live births in 2011. So now it contributed 16% from 27% to the global maternal death. So we have addressed and we have been addressing. The government launched in 2005 a flagship national rural health program, Rural Health Mission program. The National Rural Health Mission is to provide the accessible, affordable and quality healthcare to the rural section, especially the vulnerable population. It did so by promoting institutional delivery and breastfeeding and postnatal care by integrated various conditions of cash transfer schemes for the pregnant and the lactating women. The maternal mortality rate still reduced in 2013 to 167 per 100,000 live births, and it is obvious that MMR dropped globally 4.5%, but in India it dropped 4.5% in India, but globally it dropped only 2.6%. So again there was another program GSY launched in year 2005, aiming at the 100% institutional delivery rate, and this is the ASHA, where they are acting as a connection between the government and the poor pregnant women. The success of this GSY scheme established building blocks for the GSSK scheme, which was launched in 2011. To catch every pregnant woman, neonates as well as infant for quality antenatal, intranatal and postpartum family planning and immunization services, a web-enabled mother and child track system is being implemented all over our country. So the GOI program, if you see, the maternal death MMR reduced after the launch of this program, and this is the success of NRHM and GSY program. So we have to have more such type of program, and therefore the need of the hour is more resources investment, political commitment and focused research to reduce the annual 500,000 unaccepted maternal deaths worldwide. So now let us come at the maternal death review. An important policy was adopted in the reproductive and child care program in 2010 and has been institutionalized across the country, both at the facility and the community levels, to identify the medical, social causes and gaps in the system where it caused maternal death. The maternal death review as a strategy was mentioned in ICH phase 1, where it resulted they started collecting the data, but there was no action taken. So in ICH phase 2, they started collecting the data, but they emphasized that you should give a quality care to all our mothers. After what happened? After this MDR system, they analyzed after 6 years and they found a gap. And their gaps were that there was less than 50% of the estimated maternal deaths were not reported. Institutional mechanism for reviews had been established. The capacity to undertake quality review at various levels were very weak. Translation of finding into action, that is mechanism for response, lag behind. So these gaps in MDR process prompted the paradigm shift towards maternal death surveillance and response, which focuses on taking action on the information obtained from every maternal death so as to prevent further maternal death. The new guidelines of the MDSR were released by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2017. So MDSR is a form of continuous surveillance that links the health information system and quality improvement processes from local, state and the national levels. So this is the MDSR structure, that when the death occurs, whether it is at the facility level or at the community level, they are reported to the district level, district reports to the state level and state reports to the national level. So the goal of MDSR as described by the WHO in 2013 is to eliminate preventable maternal mortality by obtaining and using information on each maternal death to guide public health actions and monitor their impact. So the overall objectives are to establish a framework to assess the burden of the maternal, including trends in the number and causes of death, to generate information about modifiable factors, to use the findings to improve quality of maternal care, to use the finding to develop appropriate action to end preventable death at the facility level, and to provide accountability for the results and compel decision makers to take appropriate and informed decisions. So, but remember one thing, this MDSR process is no blame and no name policy. Why we have this meeting, why when we analyze, we have meeting the doctors where the death has occurred, the community where the death has occurred, we analyze, we call them, we analyze them. So this is a no blame and no name policy only to learn. that in future if such patient comes, we should prevent the preventable maternal death. But remember one thing, no blame does not mean not accountability. If you commit such type of mistake multiple times, then you are accountable for this. So there are 4 steps of MDSR system. One is identify and notify deaths, review maternal death, analyze and make a recommendation, and after recommendation, implement and see the response and monitor the response. So sources of information are healthcare facilities and at the communities level. So step 1 is identify. What is identification? Because any mother dies during pregnancy, during childbirth, or within 42 days of preparation. You can't say that this was a maternal death. You have to identify whether it was an incidental or coincidental, then it is not a maternal death. Rest of them are maternal death. Now the suspected maternal death in a community to be reported by community health workers, traditional birth attendant or other community leader, and one can do verbal autopsy with them and try to find out what has led to the maternal death. Notification. It is always notified to the district level. If it occurs in the facility, you have to notify within 24 hours. But if it occurs at the community level, you have given 48 hours. And there is also a system called as zero reporting. If there is no death in your facility, still you report, yes, there was a zero reporting. So that also should be done. Now the step 2 is review of maternal death. It is done by the local maternal death review committee. So we examine all the medical and non-medical, contributing factors which has caused the death of our mother, and then recommendations are done to prevent these deaths. So now one thing is that when we analyze these cases, we have to label them whether they were avoidable, potentially not avoidable, potentially avoidable, and undetermined. So we have important thing that potentially avoidable. So plan of action must be included for avoiding deaths in future. This plan should include detailed action to be taken in the antepartum, intrapartum and postpartum settings, and it should also include at the community level. I would like to mention that I represent FOXI in the Mumbai district as a committee member. And what I have observed, I have been attending this, Rina is also there, she was also nodal officer. So since last 7 years I have seen in a Bombay district we used to have 30 to 35 deaths per month. That was almost going to about 350 to 400 per year. This was not acceptable. But what is happening in Mumbai city, that we get lost many referrals. And that's the reason the maternal mortality was reported to be very high. This was 7 years back. But with this system, what I have observed in today's scenario, that we are having about 50 to 20 maternal deaths. So in 5 to 6 years, it has really helped. So this system is really working well. So sources of information can be, from the ward, when it is in the facility, from the ward, operating theatre, antenatal card, inpatient medical record, and all of us are aware where we can get the information from the hospital or the facility. I would like to mention over here, when patient, when we review, when we call the meeting, we not only call the patient where she died, we call all the people. Right from beginning, if she has come from the community level, she went to the other hospital, then she shifted to third hospital, then she shifted to fourth hospital. So we call everybody and we try to find out what exactly happened. And we try to analyze and then we try to fill up the gaps and then do the recommendation. So these are the analysis maternal death descriptive, because there are the review form which you have to fill up everything, woman's age, group, race, which I am not going to go into detail, place, time of death, whether she had antenatal checkup or not, then whether she delivered or she died during the antenatal period, and you have to see what is the medical cause of death and contributing factors and preventability. The case summary, whenever you write, when the death occurs, you should be very, very, you have to write only facts. Don't write bigger and bigger paragraph, which becomes difficult to analyze. And you should summarize in a very narrative form, and summary should be comprehensive, precise, and concise. Now, as I said, that we analyze and we try to find out what has happened, what has gone wrong. And the reviews are made at the district level where I represent and reported to the national level, but I will say we report to the state level in Maharashtra, and then it goes to the national level. And priority recommendation for national action are made based on the aggregated data. In MDS review committee team, we have 4 to 7 members, but in Mumbai district, we have around 10 to 12 people, where there is a nodal officer, obstetrician, we have 2 to 3 obstetrician, pediatrician, a nurse in the newborn care, as well as the labor ward, and plus we have anesthetic, forensic person, pathologist, surgeon. All of us are having in that, what you call as MDSR review team. And we conduct this meeting every monthly, and if there are more patients, then we conduct twice a month. So what are you going to see during the review? The 5 key decisions need to be discussed during this MDSR meeting. Cause of death classification, whether direct, indirect, or incidental. Relevant delays, where there was delay or non-availability of the logistic, whether it was preventable, and what was the action taken. It is important to discuss each and every case in detail, because there are 20 cases, 30 cases, 40 cases, and you say no time now, let's finish it off. That is not going to help us. We have to review this case and analyze them. And you take time, you can again have a second meeting, but you must do it. So what we observe, there are 3 delays. First is you recognize and decision to seek care. So what happens, that patient is not well, she feels it is uncomfortable, okay, fine. So you don't recognize, she doesn't recognize that what is the problem. And once she recognizes, then seeking to the facility, going to the facility, it becomes difficult, because they may not have money, they have fear, they have reluctance of the mother or family to seek care because of cultural constraint, lack of power, lack of encouragement, unavailability of someone else to take care of their other children, and lack of accompanying in the health family. The second delay is transfer. So once they decided, okay, now I have to go. There was first delay, now there is a second delay. So transport is again a problem, where what happens, that distance from the woman's home is quite far, the roads are not good, they are poor, they cannot afford a transport, and hence there is a second delay. So now let us see at the third delay. Means patient, first delay, second delay, patient is becoming worse and worse, and ultimately she is reaching to her tertiary care center or a center where all the facilities are available, but she reaches in the morbid condition, or she almost dead and reaches over there. So when she reaches in a morbid condition, the third delay is there is a lack of healthcare personnel, gender insensitivity of healthcare providers, shortage of supplies such as emergency medicine or blood, lack of equipment and competence of the healthcare provider to deliver emergency obstetric care, and weak referral system. So these are the 3 delays. So how can you strengthen these delays? So we have to take a corrective measure to prevent such death in the future, to improve quality of care in the hospital. So one should improve the infrastructure, improve the human resource, augment them, start taking, ask more people to come in the facility, strengthen the protocols and competence of the staff, supplies and equipment, intervention to address first and the second delay, and management when she comes to us. Immediately interventions are required. So what are our recommendations? What we call a SMART portal. What is SMART? S is specific, exactly what you need to be done. Measurable, quantify what changes is expected. Achievable change should be achievable. Relevant. Is the change what you are recommending is really helping or going to help? That you have to think, and it should be always time bound. I can't say that 2 months it has happened like this, now I will take 6 months to do this. No, it has to be time bound to prevent a preventable death. Now the step 4, I already mentioned that now the nation has given the protocol, recommendation at the, all the level. Where the death have reported, they give it to the community level or the facility level, and one has to implement this recommendation which nation has given. And now once it has come to the recommendation to national, from the nation to the facility and community level, we have to follow the protocol. So whether the protocols are followed or not, that is what you call as monitor and response. Monitor whether the implementation is done or not. So this implementation once is done, then again we analyze whether there was any decrease in the preventable maternal death. And so the monitoring and the evaluation, as well as again trying to see that whether this will help or not, it is very, very important. So there is an audit which was defined by WHO in 2013. An audit is described as a systematic and critical analysis of quality of care in the broadest sense, which assesses the impact of procedure for diagnosis and treatment on patient outcomes. So this audit cycle which I mentioned is identify cases, collect information, analysis information, recommendation, then implementation, evaluation, and refine. And this information are disseminated in 2 formats, that is annual report and reports on the monitoring and evaluation of the system itself. So one can disseminate in the annual report, and this should be written in a simple language, be easy to follow, and include the standard section. So dissemination of the result when we follow 3 principles can make use of several channels. Finding and recommendation should always be fed back to the hospital or the community where the information was collected. Feedback should be in an aggregated or de-identified form, or so that individual families of the healthcare providers cannot be identified. So when we are giving feedback, you can't say such and such doctor or such and such person had this disease. So it has to be not identified, and therefore we cannot, the MDSR system is on that, no blame and no name. So we have, when the nation is giving back us the response, there should not be mentioned anybody's name. And of course, at the same time, there has to be legal safeguard, and therefore we have to work in that manner that there should be also legal safeguard. So now, GOI revised the MDSR guidelines and what they included ICD-10 for classification of maternal death and training of medical officers on medical certification of cause of death. These few of them they were included in the new guidelines. So what does ICD maternal mortality stands? It is an application of the ICD-10 coding rules to death during pregnancy, childbirth, and pregnancy. It is intended to facilitate the consistent collection, analysis, and interpretation of information on maternal death. So there is ICD, who will use this? The person who fills up, the healthcare worker, the doctor who fills it, they have to analyze and they have to identify what was the cause of the death. So if you see, can you see here? Yeah. You can see over here, so this is ICD-MMR reference aid, where we have to identify the mother had a maternal death or just a coincidental death. Then again in the maternal death we divide direct, indirect, and unspecified. In direct we say it is group 1 related to the abortion complication, group 2 due to hypertensive disease, group 3 due to obstetric hemorrhage, group 4 due to pregnancy, that is infection, group 5 is because of the other complication like embolism, and group 5 is that we were treating patient and then something went wrong, and it is not purposeful but because of some treatment which patient died. And of course, indirect patient already having disease which was aggravated during pregnancy and she died. And of course, the unspecified group where the cause is not known. But here they have also included the late maternal death. So what late maternal death is? That the death occurring after 42 days of the delivery, but within 1 year of the termination of pregnancy. So this also tells us that you can still preventable, these are the preventable death that they included what you call as late maternal death. Now let us come to the certificate cause of death. So this is to certify, because every time when we write, death, we write cardiopulmonary arrest. Where we never come to know what is cardiopulmonary, why it has happened. So we have to write in sequences, and that is what we call as medical certificate cause of death. So it has to be in sequences. So I will give you the example of abortion. Patient had abortion, she has sepsis, she had septic incomplete abortion, she went into septicemia, she had a septic shock and she died. So these are the sequences we have to give. The another example is that a woman who had anemia during pregnancy and after delivery had a postpartum hemorrhage due to uterine and atony and died as a result of hypovolemia. So what is this? The contributing factor is anemia, which was not treated. Because it was not treated, patient went into uterine atony, and because of the uterine atony, patient had a postpartum hemorrhage. She went into hypovolemic shock and died. So these are the sequences we have to know. So we try to find the gaps where we went from. Now the anesthesia. The patient had complication of anesthesia during surgery, and there was a brain damage and hypoxia. So we have to go in detail why patient developed brain hemorrhage and hypoxia. So there is another analysis we can do and give different recommendation to the anesthetists. So it has been observed that during COVID pandemic, there was excess of maternal death, right? And everybody used to label, oh, this is a maternal death due to COVID-19. But it is not so. So we have to again find out whether it was a direct death, indirect, or just the coincidence. You cannot label all the deaths which occurred during, COVID due to COVID death. So now, for example, a woman was pregnant and had COVID-19 when she died in a car accident. So what is the type of death? Coincidental. What is the underlying cause of death? Vehicle accident. Now another example is an asymptomatic woman who has positive COVID-19 test dies of the hypovolemic shock following massive postpartum hemorrhage and uterine atony. So what is the type of death? Direct maternal. And underlying cause was uterine atony. So these are not the COVID test. COVID test positive is just the coincidental finding. So now here is another example of a COVID death. A pregnant woman with COVID-19 dies of respiratory failure and pneumonia as a result of COVID-19 infection. So what was the contributing factor? That she had a COVID infection that led to, during pregnancy, that led to pneumonia, and there was a respiratory failure and she died due to respiratory failure due to COVID infection. So this becomes pregnancy, this becomes the COVID death. So we have to be very, very specified. There is something called as modifiable contributing factors. That means what? That modifiable means something is not done properly from our end, which we can modify, we can correct it, and we can reduce the maternal death. So for example, I will take about the postpartum hemorrhage. The provider did not know how to manage postpartum hemorrhage. So what is the action? Ensure that providers know how to manage uterine, atony and other causes of PPH. Provide PPH management protocol. And who is responsible? Head of the training and human development. And this should be done within a month, and it should be continuous ongoing program to teach the people who are dealing with the maternity homes or the labor ward. Now there was another thing, that there was no uterotonic for prevention and management of PPH in the labor ward available. So you have to develop a logbook. In that you see whether what is available, not is available, you have to procure immediately. So who is the responsible person? Head of the maternity ward all staff in maternity ward. And you have to procure all the drugs within a week, and this is also ongoing process. So these are the example, these modified factors. We can definitely, modify, due to modified factor, the deaths are there, we can definitely try to, analyze and improve and take the action, and the ongoing program should continue. So to conclude, MDSR is an important strategy adopted by Government of India to reduce maternal mortality. It identifies the determinants of maternal death as per the three-delay model, and an analysis on these factors can identify the delays that contributes to maternal death at various levels. This information can be used to adopt measures to fill the gaps in the service delivery. The importance of MDSR lies in the fact that it provides detailed analysis on various factors at community, facility, regional and national level which needs to be addressed to reduce maternal death. Effective MDSR system in India will definitely help to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal to reduce its maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030. So dear friends, each maternal death is a tragedy. Bigger tragedy, however, is failing to learn lesson from her death. Therefore, we have to realize the gravity of situation, convince the policymaker, coordinate the professionals and save our women. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. Thank you very much for patient hearing.